We're going to delve into themes in greater detail here. It's important to remember that there are a lot of things that you can customize on your WordPress.com site, themes being one of those things that you can customize and change. Equally important to remember that not all themes are going to support all of the other things that you can customize. So for example, in the last video we talked about how you can customize a gallery. You can make it so that it shows up with the thumbnails in a certain orientation. You can even change it so that the gallery shows up instantly as a slideshow. But when you start picking themes, not all of the themes are going to support all of the gallery type options. Not all of the themes will support the menu exactly where you want it and how you want it. So the key thing to come up with here is to experiment a lot, get your content in the site, your images, your text, and then start experimenting and find just the perfect theme for what you want to do. And you may have to make a couple compromises, if you will, like, okay, I can't quite use that theme even though it looks really good, but maybe if I give up this option and go with this theme, then I get just the perfect website for what it is I'm trying to build. And for those of you who are really ambitious and are going to take this further, do keep in mind there is that option where you go to WordPress.org and you just download the technology of WordPress. You build your own, well, you get your own server, you put that technology in the server, and then you can drill down, as they say, to different levels in the code and get at certain elements of the WordPress site and really, really, truly customize it, almost like building a website from the ground up. Okay, so I have my preferred method of working where I have the website here, and on the other tab I am in the back of the website. So I'm going to go to, and by the back I mean the dashboard. So I'm going to go into Appearance, Themes, and in case we haven't talked about this yet, there are free themes and there are themes that you can pay an amount of money to get. But for this class, we're just going to stick with free. And if you click on free, it'll sort so that it's only showing the free themes. So now we want to search for a theme that is going to give us the best of all worlds. And I'm kind of, doing what most students are going to do here, and that is make a portfolio theme. So I want a very small header. I don't want an image up there, or if I do, I'm going to customize it, but I definitely don't want a big image. That means people have to scroll down to see content. I just want a small menu, maybe a small image, or maybe just a spot to put my logo. So I'm going to click on this theme. If I want to, some of these give you the option where you can see a lot of details before you even preview it, but we'll click preview, see what this looks like. The only thing is it keeps this little sidebar over here. Let's see if we go to our different pages on here. Yeah, this might work. I like it. It keeps everything way up at the top. At least it'll work for now. Okay, so we will go ahead and click activate and save, and then when we go over to our actual page and update, we should see the changes take place. So it got rid of all that extra stuff there up at the top, keeps everything above the fold. Not bad. You just want to be aware of things that don't make sense for your purpose. So some themes are just better for blogs. Some themes are just better for like websites, like portfolio sites. Now let's look at the things that you can customize in an actual theme. So we're going to go back into the dashboard here, and under Appearance and below Themes, or somewhere in this area, you'll see Customize. Now there will be some redundancy in here, meaning that things that you could change under the admin panel will appear here again. So like, for example, you have site identity. So since this theme supports a tagline, not all of them do. Let's say you no longer wanted a tagline there, you can just get rid of that. So in other words, you can see different things in here that this theme will let you change. Remember, always look for a save changes or save or some kind of button. We'll go back into customize here and start looking at other things that we can change. Not all themes will let you change the background color or the color palette or anything like that, but a lot of them do. So if we just start experimenting around here and see what happens. So it appears the way this one works is you click on a color and this equates to the color that is currently on the site, and then you can go down here and change it. So in other words, if I click on this color and then I click here, it's going to change everything that was white to purple. So obviously you have to be very careful with the choices that you make here. And then if I go to the next one, then that's going to change everything that was this color to another color. So you can see you can get a little funky here, or you can stay traditional and just flip-flop what you had before. Best bit of advice though is if you are doing a portfolio site and it's all about the images, don't ever conflict with your own work. So meaning you want to stay very muted for a portfolio. Like you either want a black and white site for a portfolio with maybe just a little bit of color and like like your navigation or something, or you want to stick with muted or earth tones. Now if you're doing a site and it's for an exciting topic, then yeah, you can go crazy with it and have some fun. So just got to keep all that stuff in mind. But it's nice that you get a very good preview of what's going on here, and then if you ever feel like, oh my god, what did I do, you can hit the default and go back to where you were. I just made some mild changes here in the name of experimenting. I'll go ahead and save those for now, knowing I can always come back in there, reset it, change themes, change colors. You get the idea. So now let's look at a couple other things that we can do with themes. So there are themes here for playing with the menu. You can add your social media links if you want to, if it makes sense. You've got menu location. You can modify the menu somewhat in here, but keep in mind I would probably just stick with true modifications to the menu through the dashboard. Check out all of these things, experiment with them. One here that's worth mentioning is widgets, and it says add widgets to appear in your footer. Not all sites will put, or not all themes will put them in your footer, but you can see you could put all kinds of different stuff here to show up in your footer. In most cases, it won't make sense, but I just want to give you an overview of different things that you can do. Button down here for additional CSS. In most cases, you have to go to a premium plan to get this. But this would be a way where you could really change your site quite a bit with your knowledge of CSS without having to go with a self-hosted website like I mentioned earlier. Some themes will let you change fonts, and I'll see if I can find one here in a second to show you. Good advice on this though is don't get crazy with your fonts. General rule of thumb is you want one sans serif font mixed with one serif font. That's if you even feel like you need two different fonts. And just in case you're a rookie with typography, this is an example of a sans serif font right here. You can see there's no like embellishments on the ends of the letter forms, where this is serifs. So this font mixed with this font is more of a traditional mixing of fonts. You just don't want to start putting fonts in there that don't offer each other anything or don't have any contrast from one another. I couldn't find, I tried 3 different sites and I couldn't find one that had fonts as an option over here. I did see one the other day, and that's why it's really important to write down each theme that you try and the pros and the cons for your purposes. of it. But I did come across something that I did think was interesting for you to see. So under site identity, you can see this one makes it very easy to put a logo into the font. So we'll experiment with that in just a second. But also remember, if you find one that has like just a small image up at the top, remember you could make your font in the, when I say has a small one at the top, I mean a small image at the top. You could replace that image with your own image, which could be just a header that has your logo on it. But in this case, and I've seen this a couple times where you can put a logo in here. Now we're graphic designers, so we don't have to click on create a logo, which takes you to an external site. We can just create a logo, click select logo. It says here site icon should be square, at least 512 pixels by 512. So you could try one of my test images that's about that size just to see how it fits. In fact, let's do that real quick. We'll go to select logo and we'll navigate to, took us to our media library. So let's pick one. This one's 520 by 320 pixels. So let's just go ahead and select that. And it gives you an option to crop it, which might default at an ideal size, but I don't know. We'll skip cropping for now. And okay, so there it is. It just puts it up on the top, kind of like what you'd expect a logo. The only negative to this is that it pushes things way down. So if we click Save Changes, go out and view our site, what we're going to see happens here is that things get pushed way down below the fold. So again, you got to keep that in mind. Don't forget that there are themes that have side navigation. The only negative to side navigation is that you can't put a real huge image in over here because of the side navigation, but most of the navigation in the galleries gives you the option that as soon as you click on an image, it becomes a full page gallery anyhow. So again, experimentation is the key here. That's how different this is from the one I showed earlier when under colors and in dark mode, you click here and it lets you switch to, I guess, a darker background. But I think it remembered this color from before. I'm not sure, but background color, see how different, you have a picker here and you can select different colors throughout here and whether they're muted or saturated. So I'll just pick a couple different colors here so you can see. I did find a theme that lets you change the font, so just to show you what that looks like. So here's your headings, so we'll go in here, we'll pick a font, and again, there are some ugly fonts in here, so just, use caution when you do this. You can see how it changes the main, and then we can pick something that contrasts that to go. So I'd probably want a sans serif. So yeah, or I mean that was a serif. This is a sans serif. What else did I want to show you on this one? I'll click Save Changes. We'll go out to the site. So this one, the driving thing that's clearly different about this is it has side navigation. And as I said before, the thing that's nice about side navigation is even if you add more and more menu items here, you still have your first and foremost stuff here, which gets a little bit smaller. But let's see if we go to the page that had the gallery. You see that initially it's of course smaller here because you have this smaller area as opposed to the whole area all the way across here. But most people know that when they're looking at thumbnails like this, that they just click on one and it takes you into the full page slideshow. You can see here when I added a logo to this site through the customization options, it had no effect over here, right? Because your navigation and all the key features are over here. In the next video, I will show you how to start making your own test images that eventually could become the way of getting your logo into your site.